GSL.
Welcome back to the GSL Code A. We just saw Creator get 2-0'd by Curious.
Exactly. Creator not able to defeat the Zerg player from the StarTale team, and therefore Curious is now in Code S, whereas Creator has once again to play in the up and downs.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he may not be able to get back into Code S this season. He's going to have to go through that top up and down group, but he still may be able to make it. And up next, we have our Terran versus Terran for the night. It will be YoDa against SuperNova, and to be perfectly honest, man, SuperNova has impressed me more than any other teamless player right now. In Terran vs. Terran, he knows just how to find openings, how to be aggressive. This guy plays the most aggressive Terran vs. Terran I have ever seen, and I think more people need to be talking about him.
SuperNova is an amazing player indeed, and I hope that we will see his Terran vs. Terran skill today. He's up against YoDa, and I still think that YoDa picked the wrong race. If you have this nickname, you have to pick Protoss.
Well,
every single time I heard his nickname, I think, okay, Protoss, and I'm like, wait a second. No, he's Terran. He's Terran. Remember that.
I always remember this time when I was backstage. I was actually just watching some of the matches, and YoDa was there, and he burped really loudly in the room, and I laughed. And then he looked like he was so offended that I was laughing, and I was like, I don't know, man, you burped like really loudly. I thought it was funny. That's like my best YoDa story, man.
What a random thing.
That happened once, man, and ever since then, though, YoDa, he's been around in GSL, playing in Code S, Code A, GSTL, using Cloak Ghost builds against Protoss off of one base. We've seen all sorts of crazy things out of this guy.
I remember SuperNova that every time he has to play in some kind of group stage that he's basically sitting in the booth and nearly falling asleep. There's always just laying there like, someone wake me up when my game starts.
Yeah, he is almost as tired as Nesty these days. He does seem a little bit exhausted actually with that breathing that he just did there, letting out a little bit of a sigh. See how aggressive he is going to be against YoDa here. The map is Ohana, a 2-player map. This is the GSL Code A. One of these players will be in Code S. YoDa getting in again, or SuperNova remaining. Let's find out who it's going to be.
Starting to the top left of the map, he is.
I can't do it. I'm so tempted every time, but I'm so bad at YoDa impersonations. Guys, the Terran player from LGIM to the top left. His name is
LGIM YoDa.
I still think his ID should be YoDa IM, but
even the production team completely refuses to to take the cue when I start to do my horrible YoDa voice. They're like, nope, we don't accept that. Introduce him properly and then we will show his overlay, but not before you do that well.
At the bottom right, currently teamless, formerly of OGS, this guy is
SuperNova.
And, you know, something about nuking, but
that was a really
that was one of the most brief cheerfuls I've ever seen. We gotta put SuperNova on screen first, though. He's using that mouse, man. We gotta find out what that mouse is. I've been seeing this mouse around a lot recently.
Yeah, it's not only him. A lot of these players are using it.
It's like a trending mouse right now. By the way, both players going for normal gas timing. There's something I wanted to say about YoDa, but I lost it.
You started with a nickname, with YoDa IM.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, but there's something more that needs to be said. I'll come back to it.
You mean there's more to him than meets the eye?
There is more than meets the eye, man.
That's the way of a true Jedi.
Wow. Oh, I remember what it was. I remember on Twitter somebody tweeted this to me the other day. It was really weird. He said, now think about it like this. If you add a D to YoDa and look at his ID,
YoDad.
I am YoDad. And then I am YoDad, and he draws an arrow and he says, I am YoDad is I am your father, and he says, I am YoDa is Darth Vader, question mark, question mark, question mark, and I'm like, well...
Conspiracy theories.
I'm like, that's really weird that you would do that, but like, I am YoDad would be a cool ID too. Maybe I am YoDaddy, I don't know. We see the difference of Pilderers here. It's going to be a Reaper Expand for SuperNova versus...
winning the game, holding up the sign, who's your daddy? That would be a celebration that I want to see.
Yeah, man, he's got to change his ID. I don't know if YoDa's doing it for him. Well, with the Reaper Expand versus Banshee opening that we're going to see from YoDa, things can get out of control if you don't control your Marines well, because you're going to have a low count of Marines. You're going to need that stem research, and every stem really counts. So you've seen Banshee players, once they see that it's a Reaper Expand, really just try to bait out that stem and never actually overcommit, and that can get a little bit scary. We'll see the Reaper jumping over the cliffs here, getting ready to go and do its duty, which is to scout.
The Starport is already on the way for YoDa now, and I love when we have really aggressive build orders in Terran versus Terran, and especially if you have, for example, Banshee against Banshee. I really like this because it's so hard to pull off. You have to try to micro your own Banshee so it doesn't even take out by the Marines and does some damage, and at the same time defending your main base. This is exactly where you see if a player has great multitasking or not.
This Reaper is going to jump up, and there's nothing really to stop him right now. There's just one Marine here, but he'll be able to kill that. But meanwhile, YoDa actually getting aggressive here. He's going to catch the first Marine for free, and since he's making so many add-ons, he's got no answer for this.
There is nothing. He can't produce units fast enough.
He can make a bunker if he wants to right now.
It's more about the Hellions. As soon as he has the Hellions, that's a little bit different. But at this point, if he is actually able to camp his opponent's production, take down the Hellion right away, that would be so important here.
He's taking out the Reaper back at home as well, so he's not worried about that anymore. The SCVs are coming out the line. He has to kill that one SCV making the bunker, or he is going to find himself in trouble. Now, there is one Hellion out for SuperNova, but there's also a Hellion out for YoDa. Okay, he gets the SCV making the bunker.
He tries to take down the supply depot, though, and if he sticks around a little bit longer, he will be able to pull it off.
Yep, and he's going to get it.
And
Boom.
the bunker gives him vision on the high ground. This is perfect for him. He has a lot here, and SuperNova is now suddenly supply blocked.
Yeah, SuperNova in a little bit of trouble here. He cancels the bunker. Third Hellion arrives, and he can actually try to force his way up the ramp with this. He's not going to, though. He knows the defender's advantage is strong. SuperNova supply block just now starting another depot, so he's not going to have any production for quite some time. Uses a call down supply.
Oh, but at the F1 supply, actually that is the wrong position to use. It doesn't have another bunker that he can...
He can't do anything,
It doesn't have another supply depot. You're right, that's the last one. If he takes this down, this would be so bad for SuperNova, but he doesn't even have to. There are way too many Marines.
This game may just end now with another Hellion coming in here, the SCVs.
Oh my god, he's losing way too much here. Those Hellions take down every single SCV. The SCV count is 12 to 24.
Yeah, and this was just an unfortunate circumstance for SuperNova, but YoDa really capitalizing on it quite well. You know, more map aware than his opponent, and GG. YoDa takes game 1 in 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
The force certainly is stronger than him.
That much is very true.
Smiles into the camera and he's like, yeah, I just did that.
I did it. By the way, I just got an update on the mouse. It's the Zowie Miko EC2.
Okay.
So,
I haven't heard of the mouse again.
I would be interested to try it out. It may be too small for me. It looks like a good mouse for a claw grip user.
Yeah, Cloud is a claw grip user, and he's one of the players who really loves this. So he likes that very small ones. I have huge hands, so I don't know.
Yeah, my hands pretty long fingers. Your hand's bigger than mine, though.
Yeah.
You guys can see we just like compared hands. That was so cool, man. We actually just put our hands together. It's so sad nobody saw it. Well,
it was a touching moment.
It was, quite literally. Atlantis spaceship is map number 2, and YoDa's not going to be able to put as much pressure on a map like this as he was last game. The rush distance is too far.
But I loved how he opened here, and I really like that he started with this early aggression. This is something that can really give you not only a win, but also just maybe you might not be able to take your opponent down, but if you are really aggressive and you pull it off with a nice unit control, you can get a huge lead over your opponent. And SuperNova, I expected him actually to be a bit more of the dominant force in this game.
Yeah, me too.
YoDa, though, in the past few appearances that he had, where we casted him, he always looked strong, and he proves it again today.
Yeah, he has proved it once more today, but you can't read too much into a short game like that. Let's find out what YoDa has planned, see if SuperNova can play a longer game on this bigger